Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of the Gentleman's Speaks Club. In this episode, we're looking at the QuickShot II from Retro Games, and you can see their name over there. And truth be told, I friggin' despise that company. I will explain why in a moment's time, but I friggin' hate them. But reality is, this channel is unbiased, and this product here is friggin' fantastic. I highly recommend it. I highly recommend you buy from a company that I don't like. And why do I not like this company? Well, I'm a small channel. I wrote to them when the Retro was coming out, that Spectrum. They point blank ignored all my emails, stonewalled me. Doesn't matter, I'm a little channel. You can basically go sod off and die as far as they're concerned. I'm friends with somebody else who knows them as well, and he spoke to them on my behalf and they asked for my address. He reached out to them, and obviously they were interested at that point. They took my address and then absolutely nothing. It was basically they gave these fingers to small channels. It doesn't friggin' matter. But let me tell you something, Retro Games. Even though I don't like you, even though I don't like the way you're so rude, you don't even reply to emails. What I do like is your product. We're going to tear down this product. We're going to play a couple of games on this product and see how good it is. But I can tell you now, I've already done the pre-work on the video already. So you know, I know how this ends. I know how this ends, and this ends with an absolutely fantastic product. A brilliant product. If you're still with me after that intro, then thank you very much. I hope it didn't put you off, but I wanted to put cards on the table as we go on a journey, and we have a look at the QuickShot II. So we're going to do multiple things here. The first thing we're going to do is unbox it and see what we've got inside. The next thing we're going to do is actually open it up as well. I'm wearing normal glasses because I want to have as clear vision as I possibly can. This guy's wearing the sunglasses for you, and this is the Gentleman's Speaks Club. Reality is though, these are my border markers to know for things that I've got offside here, onside here, so I don't put the wrong things in the wrong place. So here we are, QuickShot II, lovely looking box, Retro Games logo here, USB logo on there, and with auto fire switch as well. Did you ever think you would read that again? You know, it feels the same size as the old joystick boxes as well. You've got a nice description of what you've actually got in here. You know, it talks about the fire buttons, you've got comfortable grip, and it is a comfortable grip. When I held this at Crash 2025, it actually had the member berries coming back to you as well. Precise direction, well, we'll see when we play test that with some games. Built-in stability, well, that's to suck onto your desk if you want, with 4 suckers, and auto fire switch, so that'll be one of those toggles at the back. And again, you can see there's multiple extra buttons that you've got on this device here. Little wireframe diagram that you've got here. Retro Games Biz is the URL where this came from, but it has been made in China, and QuickShot is a trademark used under license from Subvert Limited. And then finally, we've just got this side here, USB 8-button precision joystick, 1.8 meter cable. You can read the rest in the language of your choice. Let's open this up. So I've never actually opened this up at all. We're doing it live on this video. So we're going to take my dead mother's scissors. She doesn't need them. If she did need them, then I've got more problems, because we had her cremated. And as she was cremated, you know, if she'd come back to use them, how do those ashes get back together? Alright, let's click on here very carefully. Get this open. It's all a bit haphazard when you're doing things at height. You know, you want it to be seen on the camera. And we're going to pull this open, and look at that, that red-headed joystick. It's just, it's memories, it's things of memories. You know, it reminds me of when I used to have broken versions of these joysticks as a kid. You would take them back to Argos after playing Daily Tops's Decathlon. Now, how would you do that? Well, they had a great exchange policy. You could buy something, and if it broke under 16 days, you would do it. So you could buy a joystick exactly the same, go home with it, play it, have it break, but you would actually not have it break. You would put your broken old one in there and continue to use the new one you got from Argos, and the cycle would repeat. It was always basically 2 for 1. So let's open this and get it out. And it's being stuck by this card. All right, okay, so we've got some nice card inside to keep it safe. Bend that up a little bit, and out it pops, and there is our joystick. So let's slowly raise it out and turn and have a look at the camera. All right, so there we are. We've got some protection here for the cable. Let's move that out of the way for the moment. You know, rigid looking handle, and it does feel like plastic of old. It does. I knew this already. Micro switches we could hear clicking inside as we turn it. We'll turn it and have a look at this side. Doesn't it look? It looks sexy, doesn't it? It does look sexy. You've got to admit that. And we got here, and we got these two buttons. I think these two fire buttons might actually be independent as well. And then we got this side here, and then finally back to the front, going across to the top where we've got the logo here, and underneath that is, see if you can see that, what the underneath looks like. Yes, I think that comes out okay, and there we go. So we are going to remove that bit of plastic. We don't want that, and we're going to have a quick look inside this joystick. We're actually going to open it up to show you what the contents are. So the iFixit kit comes into play just here. And what do we need? I think we need a crosshead screwdriver, and we need this. Put that nicely together. That can go over there. That can go over there. And let's see what we've got. So the handle has got 3 screws that you've got here. Now, I've never used this. It's all being done in one single take. So we will open all of these to actually see what it looks like. I actually did not expect to drop the screwdriver there. That goes in there. And we're going to put it all back together. I'll probably put it back together off camera, but I just want to show you the insides of what you get for your money here. Apparently, and I have no idea if this was true, there was only 48 of these coming to the country for Crash Live 2025. So, you know, there's not very many. There's not very many of them. Yeah, there might be more than that, but that's the number, you know, I just heard. And I don't even think I heard it from the company themselves. You know, it was someone else talking. So yeah, we will see, we will see. And that lifts off, and that shows you what you've got here. So looking at this very carefully, you know, we've got a fire button there that clicks down. We've got a fire button here that clicks down, and where does that click into? Yeah, you can feel it click, you can feel it click. And to just carefully take that out, that shows you what it's attaching to there, and you've got that sort of micro switch type thing there as well. So yes, yes, and the inside looks pretty much like this. So it'll be these two bits that have pushed it down, and we've got this little spring thing here that will hold on those buttons. Alright, so we know how that works now, and we could probably take the whole handle off. Yes, we can. We're not going to do too much with that, so that unclips. Alright, so the final thing is to see what's on the inside, and it is actually more than just one that we've got here, because I noticed that these are actually hidden underneath the feet. So let's get these out very carefully. Okay, that was a big screw. How many have they got? They got 5. Alright, and we've got 4 very, very small screws. I have no idea how big these ones are. So let's just put one in and turn and see. Yeah, that feels like that might work. These iFixit toolkits are always very, very good. You get, you know, just to show you, you get a nice selection of screws with them. So yeah, they are very, very good and always worth getting your hands on one of those. One screw out. Got these are very slender little ones here. Right, well that first one came out absolutely fine. Let's do a little swapping of the heads to see if this is going to be any better. First one, as you saw, a breeze, it just came out. Same screw here, doesn't want to come out. Let's try another one. Okay, that one came out okay. And we just got one more, well, one more stubborn one. In fact, both of those are a bit stubborn, aren't they? Let's change screw heads again. Sorry about this. I didn't expect this difficulty in getting so small screws out. It is turning. I can see it turning. I don't want to thread the head, if that's the right phrase to use. I generally don't know if that is the right phrase to use or not. Yeah, that ain't going at all. That one might be a bit of a problem. There we go, there we go, finally got it done, using a head that was way too big for what was needed, but it did it. Alright, so we can then carefully pull that apart. Notice that the wires go here, so we're going to be a little bit delicate with this, and because we don't want it snapping, we can actually unclip this by taking that apart there, move that to one side, and this is what we're left with, the base here. So, you know, we want to see what's on the underside of this. I hope we do. I want to. So we are going to very carefully take out what... Oh my god, it's got loads of screws, hasn't it? Right, we're going to very carefully take out these screws here. So there's flat head ones we've got to be aware of, and there's round head ones as well. The round head ones go round the outside, the flat head ones stay here. Alright, so let's do this. Let's do this with a bit of care. So that lifts off, and those are the springs. You've got 4 springs there, and you've basically got this central type pole. So yeah, there's 4 springs there, and a central pole right there for what for keeping the... I suppose that's the joystick mechanism that it holds in place there. All right, and then let's do these last 4. Actually, it's not 4, is it? It's 1, 2, it's 6. Oh my days. So I'm going to carefully lift this up and show you what you have. Okay, so I hope you can see this. You've got the buttons here on this PCB that goes around here. You've got the micro switches for the joystick there that go around the edge. You've got a little button here, which you may be able to see if I hold it that way, just here for the auto fire. But yeah, essentially this is a well-built joystick. You know, you open it up and it's like, yeah, they've done a reasonably good job here. And for reference, the system board is 2025 812A that you can see just there. So this is the QuickShot II joystick having been taken apart. A little bit of a teardown to show you guys, you girls, what's inside. Now what we're going to do is we're going to build this back together off camera, and we're going to play some games. I'll see you soon. So here we are, the joystick has been put back together, and I think I've done it right. But what we've done is we've basically untangled the USB, plugged it into a PC, and we're just going to do a little check on the buttons just to make sure they do what we expect to do. So when you plug it in, it will identify itself as the QuickShot II that you see there, and it says the status is okay. So we need to basically go into the properties of it, which we can bring up here, and this is our joystick properties there. So first thing we're going to do is test the axis on here. So, you know, let's actually, I've got to highlight the right window. Here we go. Now we test the axis and we can see that moving absolutely fine. You know, up, down. So, you know, lots of Daily Thompson's decathlon there. So yeah, this is moving exactly how it should. So that is in a good place. And this has got 8 buttons. I think that these 2 buttons were independent that we had here. We're going to give it a go. We're going to do fire there. So that's button 2. Fire there, so button 1, and then we should see all these buttons independently light up. So we've got 4, 5, 3, 6, 9 and 10. So we don't have a 7 and 8, but yeah, all those buttons are now working under Windows. There we go. And we've also got the auto fire, so we're going to turn this on. Let's turn it on, and we're just going to hold down one of those buttons. We can see it flicking there, so that shows you that the auto fire is doing what it wants, and the auto fire clearly only works on button 1 that you've got there. Looks still moving around there. Turn off the auto fire, hold it down, and it just lights like that. Flick the auto fire on, flick it on rather, flick it off. So that shows that this joystick has been disassembled, reassembled, and we're now going to try it on a few games on the Mr. FPGA. But it does feel like a joystick of old. It really, really does. You know, I'm just holding this. In fact, let's get rid of these windows so we can see a little bit more. Yeah, I'm holding this, and it feels right. It feels perfect. You know, if we put it in our hands and we do that, you know, that may not work so well. But yeah, this has a good, rugged, solid feel. The suckers are quite interesting. They're higher than what I remember suckers being, and they sort of have a push down like that. It's obviously not going to stick because I've got this white mat here, but yeah, they've got a push down like that. But enough of that, let's go and play a few games on a few systems on the Mr. FPGA, and you know, we'll see how this performs. Welcome to actually playing a few games, and we're going to be using a Mr. FPGA to do it. You can see the Mr. FPGA in the background, and we have got joystick cam here as well, so you can see that moving. I've got this joystick directly plugged into my Mr. FPGA. No configuration has been done. In fact, let me show you what the setup we've currently got. So that is essentially a photo that I very briefly took just to show what this looks like. You know, obviously when I lift the joystick now, you're not going to see that because that's a still photo. That's something for the future, not for today. But let's close this down and actually get back to the main core of the video. So the first thing we want to do is we want to set this up so that we can do some menus and stuff like that. You know, we can't do much. We can just go up and down at the moment. So on the keyboard, I'm going to hit a button that's going to change the menu, define joystick buttons, hit return on that, and D-pad test, press right. Well, you know, we probably should do, I think we have to do this one to actually identify the joystick. So let's go right and then down. Alright, so stick 1 to tilt right. We haven't got a stick 1, we don't want. Haven't got a stick 2. And now we're going to push right, left, down, up. Very easy. And if you look very closely here, you know, we have some buttons there that you might be able to see the indents. That's X, that's Y, that's menu, that's left, that's right, that's home. We don't have an A, B, but what we're going to do is we're going to use the 5 buttons for that. So we'll use that one as A, that one as B, and we can press X. It is actually labelled on the joystick here, X, Y, and then we can do left and right, and boom, it's done. And we've got the menu, which I'll do for select, and then you've got start. We don't want to do anything with the mouse. We don't have a mouse attached, so we'll get rid of that carefully without going too fast, too quickly through, and press menu for 2 buttons. So I'm going to push both these buttons down at once for menu OK, and then for menu OK, I don't know what to do. What do we do? Let's do that, and menu back. We'll do that. Alright, and I think that's it. I think that's absolutely it. So if we do space get rid of all those. We have programmed this joystick, yes, and that's working as it should be. Alright, let's go back to the main menu, and we're going to go to the Sinclair Spectrum for the first game that we're going to test. And you know, this is just a demo of what we've got, and it's very clear the first game we need to probably test is Daley Thompson's Decathlon. So return for the Spectrum, let that load in. I'm doing no formatting of the screen, nothing like that. This is just a pure standard test. We will bring up the menu, and let's hit both buttons there at the same time, and we'll go to tape, and we'll go back. In fact, we need to go back. Actually, we've done it wrong. We'll bring up the menu, and we'll go to Z80. That's what I was looking for. And here we go. You can see everything that I've got on this system. Daley Thompson's Decathlon. Let's bring that in. So this should be set up as a Kempston. You know, I believe that I've got this set up as a Kempston, and there you go. You've got Kempston. Whoops. You've got Kempston down there that you can see on the menu if you have a look there. This is really sensitive, actually, this joystick, so that's really good. So we're going to try and leave the menu, and we'll do T for Kempston interface. Alright, let's see whether it works. Yes, it does work, Oh, God, this feels like yesterday, So we'll do GP C. Here we go, GPC. Day 1, 100 meters. Now, if this breaks on this demo of the joystick, this is going to be so embarrassing. But I'm going to try and hold it while I do this, because, you know, we don't want to rock all the cameras. Well, he might be running quite fast. Can he do it? Well, I would say that works. That absolutely works. You know, look at everybody cheering there. Alright, so that shows that worked there. Very quick waggling of the joystick just to get that game done. Let's load in another game. So we're going to go into the menu, and we are going to go to Z80 again, I think. And we're going to go to Attic Attack, because there's something I want to try here. So, where is it? I want to try using these alternate buttons that you've got. So this just feels perfect. You know, I love my monster joysticks and stuff like this, but this feels really, really good. Where's Attic Attack? Come on. There we go. Go. In you go. Alright, now, if I recall, this had some additional buttons that you could use, and I think we can make use of these buttons here. So if we go into the game, we're going to have Kempston joystick set up, but I think there was Z and X that you could have basically to actually move objects around. So what we're going to do is we are going to start the game very quickly, and we're going to wait for our man to appear, and we're going to run down, collect the food. That doesn't really matter. I'm just looking for the first object. There we go. Yeah, it was Z to pick it up. Alright, so if we go into the menu, and we're going to do a button remap here. That's what we're going to do. Whoops, I hit the wrong button. Right, okay, let's go into the menu, and we're going to do a button remap. Bingo. So we want a button to change. So I think we're going to hit X there, and I'm just going to press Z on the keyboard, and it says it's done. So hit return. Okay, hit escape. Right, let's move around a little bit. Let's go through here. I am carrying across a bit of health, but if I push that, button there now, you know, that moves that cross. So, you know, we can drop the cross by the crosses, no pun intended. So there we go. Triple crosses in that room. We can drop it. We can pick it up using that button, and we can go through that door. This feels exactly as you would expect. You know, it feels bloody brilliant. It really, really does. So yeah, happy with that. And this changes. You know, this changes on things like the Spectrum and stuff like that. The way you can play games, because we have now got the old style joystick. This old style joystick that we remember. That, you know, you can map with these buttons. You can do different things. So, you know, I've basically shown you Delhi Thompson's decathlon. You've seen movement in this game. So, you know, you see it works to actually get a reasonable time of 11 seconds for the 100 meters, you know, and that was nuts doing it on camera, but it absolutely works. And, you know, it feels solid as the day it was born, this joystick. It really, really does. And then we've got the remapping of these other buttons. I think that we are going to be in for a good time with the QuickShot II. So here we are at the end of the video. As I said in the opening, you know, maybe my words were strong for what I thought about the company here, but, you know, is that the truth comes out. The truth's got to come out. But I'm also on this channel 100% unbiased. We get paid for nothing. The only thing we ask for is subscribers, because, you know, that it helps us grow a little bit. But we're non-monetized, nothing like that. So we're not even for profit. You know, this joystick, I bought 2 of them at Crash Live. It was bought out of my own money, and you know what? I don't like the company, but I love their product here. I certainly love their product here, and I highly, highly recommend, if you want a real good retro feeling on whatever device you use to play your retro games, you go out and you get one of these. Support a company that doesn't respond to my emails, but you'll be getting a great product in return. All of you stay safe, all of you take care, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.
Gentlemen, P is for Pixel, C is for Club. At the Gentleman's Pixel Club, we play old school games, no need to rule. With sunglasses on, we dive into retro fun. Masters of nostalgia, our joy never gets undone. G is for Gentlemen, P is for Pixel, C is for Club. The GPC brings us together every single video. Subscribe now and join the club, let's have some fun. Gentlemen of gaming, you know ladies, welcome to Pixelated Fun. Remember when we had Commodore and Atari too? Those were the days, we loved them like a brother and you. From Pac-Man to Space Invaders, we played all night long. Gentlemen's Pixel Club reminds us of those times when life was just right. G is for Gentlemen, P is for Pixel, C is for Club. The GPC brings us together every single video. Subscribe now and join the club, let's have some fun. Gentlemen of gaming and the ladies too. Retro fun never done. Through the years, the games may change, but the spirit stays the same. Gentlemen's Pixel Club is where we gather our hearts in a gang. Sunglasses on, we're ready to play. Gentlemen's Pixel Club, the ultimate gaming channel, always in play. G is for Gentlemen, P is for Pixel, C is for Club. The GPC brings us together every single video. Subscribe now and join the club, let's have some fun. And women and children of gaming, joystick fun are never done. G is for Gentlemen, T is for Pixel, C is for Club. The GPC brings us together every single video. Subscribe now and join the club, let's have some fun. Gentlemen of gaming, pixelated fun never done.